Hey guys, this is Mr. 3D Hero, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to set up your ideal claymore and cameras in specific locations on your FOB. Now, this video is a really late sub request, and I'm really sorry that I've uploaded it this late. It's just the fact that I've been coming across some other things I had to go do, and I've just been trying to record as much commentaries for some other videos I have that I'm going to be preparing in the late future for others. So I'm really sorry, but in this video today, I'm going to be presenting to you how to set up certain claymores and cameras, the best ways, the best methods available, and how effective they actually are. I'm going to show you some old methods and currently the new ones as well. So I do hope you enjoy the video, and let's go ahead and start with the video. Alright, so let's imagine this. You're on your FOB, and you just unlocked your custom mines and custom camera. Now you're trying to think to yourself, what is the best method to go ahead and do this? Well, the best way to actually go ahead and set up your mines and cameras kind of depends on how you want to stop infiltrators from getting to your core. Now you can either set it up in a way so that it puts a choke point so that players can't progress, or you either put it in a way so that players will have no choice but to push forward, but by pushing forward that end up causing some kind of alert, or you want to focus as much security in one specific area that will be so effective enough that will always stop, or they will always get caught by cameras or claymores as such. So the first thing you want to kind of do is, well, the first kind of claymores and mine setup I currently do is the front bridge method. Now the front bridge method, I'm sorry about that, is a very old method that me and lots of FOB players used to use when it came down to stopping invaders. How it goes is this: where the stairs and that current platform, that leveled platform is, from there you want to put a custom camera on that leveled platform on the far left side, and then from that point there you want to do a horizontal line for your claymores so it completely blocks off the bridge. Now the method I did is that I would put at least 3 claymores on a horizontal line that would close off the bridge, and then the final claymore would be on the lower part, or so say the bottom strut or underneath the bridge part, so that when the player sees the claymores and cameras up above, they would most likely go off and drop down onto the lower part of the platform, not knowing for the fact that there's always going to be a claymore at the very bottom. How effective was this method? It was, I say 50-50 at most. Some players were able to actually get past it quite easily, because the one issue we had is that there will always be a large gap left in the middle of the top platform. Either that, or the way it was set up, it was either that 1, the security guards wouldn't see you, 2, the lasers, not lasers but the sensors for the containers wouldn't go off, and that's one thing I also recommend. Make sure that the sensors for the containers that are pretty much stationed nearby, make sure that the radius is increased so they have a much wider radius, so that if an infiltrator does go near it, it will actually cause an alarm, and the base will either go into a amber alert, or the security guards that are pretty much nearby station will see you and instantly pretty much game over. But from that, either the claymores where they're currently set would be either too wide or too small, and they just leave too much of an opening for the player to actually get by quickly, or they go on the railings and pretty much hang from there. And that was a major problem back then, because the thing is, although it was an effective method, it didn't always catch out the really good players. So you want to catch out the really good players. So the best other method I thought of, well, the best other method I saw that was really common, is to lay your claymores to the end platform before you would be entering that platform. Think of it this way: you're on the first platform, the one you spawn on. You go over the bridge, but before you go over and cross over to the second platform, think of it this way: you're on the end platform. So before you hit the second platform, you're on the end point there. At this point here, what you want to do is do the same method like I said, But this time, make sure you get the claymores, 4 claymores this time, or preferably 3, and put them in a horizontal line from the point of where the piece of steel is that separates a certain part of the bridge. Put one on that side, and then space out the other claymores so it goes all the way to the end of the bridge, and then place the camera on a little steel beam. Now there's little steel railings or beams on the right side that if you do it really precisely, you'll be able to place your camera onto it. And the reason why you would place it here is because 2 reasons. One, it has a good overview for looking at the bridge. So if you're crouch walking, the camera will be able to see you either way, or if you're crawling, the camera will still see you. But number 2, players will always try to hang over the bridge. Now over the bridge, there are railings that if you press triangle on, by triangle or Y, I believe it's Y on the Xbox controller, you'll be able to hang onto the side part of the bridge, the railings. Now this is an effective method when it comes down to getting past some securities, especially the claymores or cameras. It keeps you out of view. It's less risky as you can't really mess up on it, and by the time you get off from it, no one will notice you. You just got to be aware that the security guards may be nearby watching you. Now by placing a camera at that point there, they won't be able to progress no matter what, because the way the camera is set on a 90-degree angle. So say if you did, for example, get to the point of where the camera turns not looking directly at you, by the time you try to get up and over, it will be too late. The camera will spot you quite easily and you'll get caught and that'll be game over. It's a very effective method. Now one other thing is that you'll have one more claymore left if you do the end bridge method. This claymore, you want to put it underneath the bridge, or say underneath the strut. By placing it here, or preferably by placing it in the middle, it will allow a choke point where the player won't be able to progress whatsoever without making a noise. You want to do it to where the player can't go over the railings on the left side. Make sure that where the railings on the left side is, make sure that the claymore isn't leveled with it, but is further or before the railings end. By doing that, they can't push up any further. If you don't know what I mean by this, just watch the video as presented and look at the way I set it up. Now you can actually get past this, but like I said, because it's a choke point, you will cause an alert. Now the best method to actually get past this now is 2 ways. Now if you're going above the platform, on the left side over that little piece of metal that's splitting the bridge, on the left side by the metal railings or metal railings, you'll have some railings. If you know what I mean by this, look on the video again, but on the left side there are some railings that if you go into crawl mode and you keep crawling onto it and then you stop and then you crouch, and if you do it precisely right, you should be hovering over the railings, not by too much, but should be hovering over it. Now at this point here, you want to be aiming directly into the corner of the railing to where it kind of makes like a left bend turn, and then you want to dive. If you dive and do it correctly, you'll be able to hang on to the ledge, and from that point there, you'll pretty much beat how to get past that platform. But the problem with this method is that it's not always 100%. This method is actually 50-50 at most. You can pull it off, but other times you won't be able to pull it off, and when you don't pull it off, that's it. There's no second chances. You will mess up, because if you don't grab onto the railings, you're going right into the waters, and that's it. So the other method now is, like I said, underneath the bridge. The bridge underneath the bridge, where I said the choke point is, this method, if you want to get past it, what you want to do ideally is get smoke grenades. Now throw a smoke grenade behind you, throw a smoke grenade in the middle of you, then throw a smoke grenade to the end of the area that you want to get to, and one onto the claymore. Make sure you have a box equipped with you, and when I mean equipped, I mean make sure you at least have a number of boxes with you. I do recommend that you bring at least 10 or 20. They don't really cost much to deploy, but bring as much cardboard boxes with you, as they are really handy when it comes down to security and not taking on a lot of damage. Get into your cardboard box, go headfirst into the claymores, and it should blow up. Now when it blows up, the base will go onto an amber alert and they'll be looking directly at you, but they won't see you and they won't be instantly alert. If you do it correctly, and as shown in the video, if you do it correctly, the guards will be looking in your direction, but they won't know you're actually there, since the smoke grenade is kind of blocking your view. At this point here, once this happens, you kind of want to move quick through the platform, as the base will go onto an amber alert, but you won't have a lot of time since the base is going to be notifying the defender and supporters. So when it does happen, quickly make your way from the left side or the right side, quickly get to the end core and just hightail it out. Like, do not stay behind, don't mess about, don't take security guards, just get out of there as quickly as possible. If you do it quickly as possible and don't get caught, you won't cause them retaliation and a defender won't come. If you do it too slowly, a defender will come and your stealth run will be put to waste. So those are just one of the most commonest methods or commonest ways of sending out your claymores. The other ways of sending out your claymores is also more focused on your FOB. Now, your end FOB, your core area, you kind of want to set it up in specific ways so that it kind of shuts down complete areas or kind of catches the guards out from surprise. But this doesn't always work. This doesn't always work with many of the platforms with the end cores. For example, ones that are effective are ones like R&D, combat, and support. If you look around all those type of maps or platforms, those maps are really great when it comes down to setting up hidden claymores and such. But when it comes down to setting up claymores on, for example, like medical or intel and such, it's not really needed, considering that the way they're designed, they're not really going to get caught out straight away. And in some other cases that I've seen, I wouldn't say are great, you can always, through this little method, you can always put claymores and a camera within the core door. Is it effective? Sometimes. If you're a player that doesn't know about this method, then yes, it's very effective. Players that know about this method, it's not very effective. That's why every time you watch me do an FOB video, that's why I'm always throwing a Molotov onto the core door. I'm always doing it because there's always a hidden mine or a camera that's going to be based within the core door. So by me throwing a Molotov on the door while it's closed, it will blow them up, and by then I can pretty much go into the core and I pretty much save myself. Like I said, that method there isn't always effective, but I'm not really going to like stop you from doing it. But like I said, you're better off doing either the front bridge or the end bridge method, as those methods are really more effective. So guys, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If there is anything I did not cover and you want me to cover it, please leave a comment in the comment section. If not, then leave a like, subscribe and share for more, and I will see you guys soon. So bye.